I'm gonna sound ancient, right? I got my SAG card in Ronald Reagan's first term.
Wow.
Okay. 1984. He wasn't there. He didn't give it to me personally. No, it was for the Explorers. It was the only funny thing about that story is that I had forgotten that I was a SAG member because I got this part in this movie when I was a kid, and then 4 or 5 years went by and I got the next part, and I went to go join SAG, but they told me I had to pick a new name because Ethan Hawke was already taken. I was like, I got the weirdest name in the world. How is that already taken? Like, oh, it says right here. And I was like, well, that's me! And I forgot I already had it. I just haven't paid my dues, so I had to fill out some more dues. And then I got to keep my name. No, it wasn't that much.
Well, I don't feel so bad about not remembering, if you could even remember how to say
Yeah.
Although I was pretty sure it was the Explorers, but if I'd said that, I would have been wrong. Margaret, for you?
I was lucky. I did a HBO show and called The Leftovers when I was 18, and that was my SAG card.
Great show, like literally one of the greatest shows. And that's how everyone in that cast has just gone on to be an all-star, present company included. Again, congratulations on a really unique and special film. Everyone's going to get to see it, but if you don't know the basic plot, it's set on the opening night of Oklahoma, where Lorenz Hart, the former partner of Richard Rodgers, gets to watch his partner be really successful without him. Which is something I feel like everyone can relate to. This has been a long time in the making, hasn't it? You've wanted to do this with Richard Linklater for some time.
Rick sent me the script about 11, 12 years ago. We were still making Boyhood when we read the first draft of this. And we just kind of would get together every 18 months or so and read it out loud and talk to Robert Capello, the screenwriter. And so it's basically his methodology. He just likes to meditate and dream on things a lot and think about them. And then one day we did a reading and everybody left, and he was like, I think it's time, let's make it now. And then he called you, and we met you at a cafe down the street from my house, and Bobby and Margaret came aboard right away, and they were the first people that Rick was dreaming about. And then we didn't know what to do with Richard Rodgers, because that seemed like, what are we gonna do? And then the idea of Andrew came about.
Andrew Scott,
yeah. And so that once we decided to do it, it didn't cost a lot to make. We got the money pretty quickly, and the cast came together pretty quickly.
And it's largely in one location, it's at Sardi's, on opening night of Oklahoma, which
Sardi's is a metaphor for the whole universe.
But it is, truly. And Margaret, you play Elizabeth Lyland, who a real person who was corresponding with Lorenz Hart, who he's like, I think it's fair to say, obsessed with. And you're a Rodgers and Hart fan. And I've heard you say that Megan's movie was life-changing. You'd always wanted to work with Rick?
Well, yeah, I would say it was like a very surreal experience for me. I'm a huge fan of Ethan Hawke and Richard Linklater, and their collaboration so beautiful and super informative for me as an actress. And so yeah, it was surreal and really exciting to be able to collaborate with them and not only observe what they do together, but be a part of it.
Because so much of the movie does sort of hinge on the chemistry between the two of you, I'm curious if there was any kind of a chemistry read, if you'd met each other before, or if Rick just casts good actors and knows it'll work.
I think Rick would be allergic to the idea of a chemistry read, just because, and I believe in this too, that good chemistry between two actors isn't magic. It's caring about your scene partner. It's wanting your scene partner to excel, being aware of the space that your scene partner needs. It's amazing. Certain actors always have good chemistry, and certain actors don't. And it doesn't mean they're not a great actor. It just means that's not their thing. But Rick loves players that want to play, and Margaret's humility about this whole thing and her willingness to work the way Rick wants to work. It was she's being very humble about it. Rick wanted to rehearse it a lot, but we were also very busy doing scenes that she's not in, and she was just completely dedicated and there for us whenever we wanted to rehearse, and it would not have happened if she didn't have that level of dedication. And the scene in the movie are the better for it. And so, I don't know, it was a good meeting.
Yeah.
But no chemistry really required.
Had you ever met before, or was it the first time that
She
you
was my
met?
daughter.
What,
I've met you before.
Yeah.
I met you at a different premiere and came up to you and was like, Boyhood, oh my god, I'm the same age as the guy, I'm the kid, and my parents were at the same time, and everything was happening in my life at the same time, it was happening.
Yeah, great kid.
Keep at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you'll do well. Oh, I love that. Have you ever auditioned for Rick? Did he always cast you just on?
Fuck, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick came to see me in a play.
Oh.
And I had seen Slacker, and I knew exactly who he was. And he came to see the play. Do you know the story? You've heard us tell the story? And it was awesome. He came to see this play. He came to see a friend of mine. I was running this theater company at the time, and so Rick came to see this Anthony Rapp, who was in Days of Confused. Days of Confused hadn't come out yet, and we all went out. And Rick and I talked until 4:30 in the morning. We just couldn't stop talking. And he told me about this idea he had of a movie called Before Sunrise. It was all about a guy on a train in San Antonio. He takes a train from San Antonio to Philly, and he was pitching me this whole idea of this movie. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And about a week later, I got it in the mail, because it sounds very romantic, but he actually walked me to my door. But whatever, yeah. And but it was just, it was what we were doing. We were just talking all night long. And so he had my address, and I got the script in the mail for Before Sunrise, and I thought I was being offered it. So I read it, and his number was on it. I called him, and I was like, yeah, the script is great, man. Let's make this thing. He said, oh, great. We're doing auditions from the 17th. I was like, oh. And I decided, and then in the back of my brain was, well, the script's not that fun. But I thought, all right, you know what? I'm going to go get this part. And then when I have the offer, I'll criticize the script. And so I auditioned like 7 times in the course. Yeah, I remember actually, because they were, the scenes, it's a Linklater film, so the scenes are absurdly long. And I was wearing Converse high tops. And if you remember, during my audition, I peeled the whole, I don't know what you call it, plastic on the edge, I peeled the whole thing, the rubber, I just peeled it all off while I was talking, and somehow he thought that was interesting, so I got the part. And he called me up, and he's like, yeah, man, I really want you to do that. And I said, well, all right, it's good, because the script has a lot of problems. And he was like, all right, you want to talk to me about them? And I said, sure. And we went, and we made,
Just out of curiosity, did you do a chemistry read with Julie Delpy for that?
I did for that, but that was a little different because that script, he didn't know where he was going to shoot it or what. So it wasn't like American guy, French girl meet on a train. It was 2 people of different backgrounds. He was interviewing lots of different kinds of people from all, and it wasn't set in Vienna until they gave him a good financing deal. He could have set that movie. He would have set it in Istanbul if they would have given him money.
Yeah, when you said Philly, I was like, did I see the right movie?
Yeah, it's just, that was the first draft. The point was about 2 human beings connecting from different backgrounds, and they could have been. So he was trying to find people. He also knew we were going to write the movie with him. So he was auditioning. It's not a coincidence that Julie and I both went on to go write and direct our own movies and stuff after that, because he was finding people that were going to work in the same methodology that he was interested in doing.
I mean, Margaret, you talked about always wanting to work with Richard Linklater, and what was the experience like? What do you think makes him so special as a director?
I guess, I think that there's a lot of different approaches to directing, and his feels like it's an experience all the way through, in the sense that we did meet at, a deli and have breakfast together and talk about it there. And then once we're all deciding that we're going to do this together, you get there and there's like a week of rehearsals, but it's not like a rehearsal where you show up at the exact time and you read it for 2 hours and you leave. It's like you're chatting and then you're rehearsing and then you're having lunch and then you're chatting and then you're rehearsing, and it's all an experience, and it makes you feel like you're not hired to do a job, but you're a part of something bigger, that your role isn't as defined and it's more ambiguous. And I think you really feel that in the movie, that everyone feels like they have a unique place that is defined by who they are as a person, not by the role itself.
Which is why when Ethan was talking about how you were fine being there, even when they weren't rehearsing your scenes, it sounds like it was a great atmosphere.
Of course, like these are my heroes. I'll be a fly on the wall for them in between, and somebody's gonna be like playing classic music on a gorgeous piano in this like really extravagant set, and it was just I think you used the word like a meditation, but that's what it feels like. It was really special. It felt like the place to be.
Yeah, you were acting like she was sacrificing by having to be
I
there.
just mean, she was a willingness to play without agenda. It was. I just think what Rick's idea of when people say, "Oh, he likes to rehearse," his idea of rehearsal is often sitting together for 8 hours talking about other movies or something. And it's not. There's not a math to it. He wants to be together and get to know each other so that you feel safe and comfortable, and you feel confident enough to say, "I don't like this line," and say that he could feel confident enough to say, "I think you should go slower and pace it up and find this." And I said this the other night, but I think it's true. What's so wonderful about it, by the time you're filming is a relief. You forget to. A lot of movies, I've gone on movies where I'm so nervous the first day because I don't know any of these people. I don't know if they like me. I didn't audition for the part. They just cast me on it. Are they gonna like what I'm doing here? And with him, there's none of that nervousness because we've been with each other. It's the equivalent of making a meal and letting it simmer for a long time before you turn up the heat.
And so appropriate for a movie about theater, really. I mean, it's about a lot of things, but obviously theater. You're both playing real people, which I think you've both done before. When you're preparing for a real person, how much do you rely on the research, and how much do you have to sort of let that go when you actually arrive to the set?
Yours is much more.
Yeah, and there's very little known about her character. Her character was based on some letters that Robert found in an estate sale, actually, of this young woman writing to Lorenz Hart. It kind of fascinated him that they would have this correspondence. It sparked his imagination about, wait, Larry Hart's very different than I thought he was. When you're playing somebody, it's a weird comment. If you're playing, I would find it very difficult, like what Will Smith had, he played Muhammad Ali, and like, we all know exactly what Muhammad Ali looks like and talks like, and moves like, and I would find that very, very daunting. Lorenz Hart, very few people know anything at all about him, so it's a wonderful combination of being able to pull from his life story. It's one of my first acting teachers said, specifics create dynamics, right? The more specific you are, the more dynamics are in play. So you could pull these specifics, but then I could pull specifics from my own life too. I'm not violating some, I think a biopic says more about the people that made it than it does about the subject. The subject didn't make it. It's our hit on why Larry Hart might be interesting to you. It's like we're doing a painting of Larry Hart, and all of us, the set designer, everything's in service of this. And so I love it because there's so many specifics to draw from. I often think when you get sent like a normal movie or something, your job as an actor is to turn it from a screenplay to a novel, to add all the details, all the richness, to make it turn a sketch to an oil painting. That's our job, But when there's so much to draw from, it's a lot easier.
Did you have Elizabeth's letters? Did they help at all, or?
I probably could have. Didn't.
Well, you get obsessed about the script you have to play. And
Yeah, the language was super informative and so rich that I think my number one job was just to learn it so deeply that it would feel really natural coming out of my mouth when I don't tend to speak as lyrically and as poetic as the script is.
Well, also you're on this amazing set. Is that actually Sardi's?
no,
Okay.
they've never let us
That's-
shut
I
down.
was gonna
Sardi's
say.
for 8 weeks. We built it in Ireland.
Oh my God.
And you'll see, Larry Hart's 5 feet tall, so the set had to be built to help make that
That's
possible for me.
Everything's big.
Well,
yeah.
everything's different. Everything has to be movable and flexible so that, because the bar has to be one height for one person. It can't be high for everybody.
Sure.
So it was complicated.
If you were really committed,
I would have
you
shut
would
down.
yeah, if that in Gattaca.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah,
opposite.
yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it. How much does it help to be on that amazing set, to have that hair and makeup and those costumes, all of which are so period specific, really lock the character in place?
So much, yeah. I mean, I think you're really transported by having such a talented crew, and everybody makes it really easy for you because it's suddenly easier to imagine that you're there than everyone's here faking it.
One of the hard things for us is being in Ireland. All the extras, as soon as they'd say cut, would speak with an Irish accent, which would really blow the whole thing. Would you like a cup of coffee, lad?
What about for you having, I was going to say, very different hair and makeup? This is a pretty good look on you, I have to say.
Thank you. That's the fun thing about seeing the real Larry Hart. Okay, he's got a comb over. That tells you so much about who he is, and he dyes his hair, and that's so obvious. And you can kind of see pictures of his skin. He's clearly, he's struggling with alcohol, and so there's so much to build on. That's kind of what I mean when I say specifics create dynamics. You'd be like, I don't know if I would have had the thought that he should have a comb over if I didn't see a picture of him. I'd like to think I might have thought, oh, that'd be a great idea, but I doubt I would have. I would be too vain.
Did you go out looking like this, or
Never.
recognize you?
Rick wouldn't let me go out.
Yeah.
Remember, he was just hounding me all the time. This movie's going to be as good as you make it.
Well, you had a very short shooting schedule.
Yeah, 15 days, yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and it looks fantastic. You would
Yeah.
never know this was an independent film.
Well, it's 10 years dreamed about.
Yeah.
And then, you can never return to this moment. That's kind of a thing Rick said to me a long time ago. Like, when you're filming, it's not as good as you can do. It's as good as you can do today, right now. And preparation is all about that.
Well, I'm glad it took 10 years because Margaret was probably 12
I know.
when we first started working on this movie. Well, again, you're all going to see it. It's a fantastic film. I want to thank you so much for being here and for talking about
Thank you for being here. Thanks for caring. Thanks for coming out. I really hope you love it. Forget everything you said. Act like you just,
This didn't happen.
Yeah, beginner's mind. Hope you enjoy it. It's good, I promise. I promise. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself.